Claire loved the quiet of her street after dark. The houses stood like watchful guardians, streetlights cast long, eerie shadows. It was her favorite time of day. Tonight the air was crisp with autumn. Leaves crunched under her feet as she walked home from work. Reaching her porch, she fished for her keys, her breath misting in the cool night air. Inside, her apartment was cozy. She flicked on the lights, banishing the shadows. The familiar surroundings brought a sense of peace after a long day. Claire put on a pot of tea and settled onto her couch. She loved this time alone, the silence broken only by the gentle hum of the refrigerator. The phone rang, just once. Claire glanced at the clock on the microwave, 11:59 p.m. Odd, who would call so late? She picked up the phone. Silence. "Hello?" she asked, her voice echoing in the quiet apartment. Only the dial tone answered back. Claire shrugged and hung up. Must be a telemarketer, she thought. She went back to her book, but a shiver ran down her spine. The silence felt different now, somehow heavier. The next night, the phone rang again. Same time. One ring. Claire stared at the phone, her heart pounding. She hesitated, then picked up. "Hello?" Her voice was a whisper. A raspy voice, barely audible, sent chills down her spine. "I see you, Claire." Click. The line went dead. Claire slammed the phone down, her blood turning to ice. Fear, sharp and cold, gripped her. Someone was watching her. The calls continued every night. Always at 11:59 p.m., always one ring, and always the same chilling voice. "Nice dress, Claire. You look tired tonight, Claire." Each call chipped away at her composure, her fear growing with every ring. He knew her name, her routine, he was watching her, but who was he? Claire felt eyes on her everywhere she went. At work, she constantly glanced over her shoulder. Walking home, every shadow seemed to hide a lurking figure. She tried changing her routine, staying at a friend's house, but the calls followed. The voice remained the same, a constant, terrifying reminder that she wasn't safe. Sleep became impossible. Nightmares plagued her, the raspy voice echoing in her ears. She was trapped in a nightmare, and the nightmare knew her name. Claire decided to go to the police. She had to do something. She couldn't live like this anymore. As she walked to the police station, the street seemed eerily deserted. Her heart pounded in her chest. Each footstep echoed in the silence, amplifying her fear. She kept looking back, convinced she was being followed. The police station, bathed in the warm glow of streetlights, appeared in the distance. A wave of relief washed over her. Maybe, just maybe, they could help. The police officer listened patiently to Claire's story, but she could see the skepticism in his eyes. Without any evidence, there was little they could do. They promised to increase patrols in her area, but Claire knew it wasn't enough. The calls continued, the voice growing bolder, more menacing. Fear became her constant companion, a suffocating presence that clung to her like a shroud. She was a prisoner in her own home, too terrified to even scream. One night the phone rang. Claire stared at it, her hand trembling. She knew she should just let it ring, but she couldn't help herself. She picked up the phone. Silence. Then, a sound, faint but unmistakable. The click of her apartment door unlocking. Terror washed over her in a cold wave. "Hello, Claire," the voice whispered, closer now, right outside her door. "We can finally meet face to face." Claire slammed the phone down and scrambled back, her heart pounding against her ribs. She was trapped. The doorknob rattled, then slowly turned. Claire's breath caught in her throat. She backed away until she hit the wall, her eyes wide with terror. The door creaked open, revealing darkness. Then a whisper, barely audible, sent chills down her spine. "Where are you, Claire?" The following days were a blur. Claire disappeared. The police found her apartment empty, the phone dangling off the hook. The only sign of a struggle was the overturned coffee table. The case went cold. Weeks turned into months, then years. The mystery of Claire's disappearance remained unsolved. But the phone calls continued. Every night at 11:59 p.m., the phone would ring in the empty apartment. One ring and then silence. Some say the calls are just a cruel prank, a reminder of the unsolved mystery. Others believe it's something more sinister. A ghost perhaps, still tethered to the scene of its torment. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. The midnight caller still haunts the quiet street, a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left buried. And somewhere out there in the shadows, Claire is still missing.